It's Rock and Rizzle, man.
Hello! It's
Welcome.
2023.
2023, are you kidding me?
New world.
New world, new vibes. We have
Ooh.
been rolling in that shit. Let me tell you guys, 2023 is our year.
Hell
It's absolutely
yes.
our year.
Oh my god, guys, I've been through hell lately. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, but to get to anything beautiful, you have to walk through a whole bunch of hell. We
Yes,
all
you
know
sure
that
do.
by now.
Yep.
If you've listened this far in, you know that better than anybody.
Yep. Absolutely.
And the reason we have to do that is because we got to know how it feels so we can help other people deal with that shit. So that's why we talk about this stuff, you know?
In order to walk people, home, then you gotta know what it's like to walk, that path too.
Absolutely.
Because if you're that way shower, you have to know the way.
Yeah, because if you can't face yourself, then you're not going to help anybody else face themselves.
No.
And it takes a whole lot of courage to stand up and say, you know what, I know that I'm not the greatest person in the world.
Yep.
What can I do to start to fix that?
Yeah.
That's the biggest, most crucial step, but it's the most hardest one. For whatever reason, humans are rubbed the wrong way when they think that, I might be a shitty person. You know?
Yeah, but it's because their ego.
Right, and exactly that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
You got to slay that ego, and to slay that ego, you have to first realize that.
Yeah, you have to be brutally honest with yourself and say, come on, why am I this way? Question yourself, self-analyze yourself.
Yeah, say, I want to be better.
Be like, what can I do to change this? And if you analyze the situation, you can see the cycles in which you're going through them situations with the people that you're going through, or just your own cycles.
Yeah.
Are you going through a cycle of where you can't get out of a marriage? And by the way, everybody, I am newly separated.
Ooh, yes, the papers were signed today.
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
the new book of your life.
Yes, it is a new book.
Yeah, so
Yes.
one thing we were talking about recently is, you guys know we had the experience at the Akashic Records with the Book of Life, right? Well, we learned about the chapters of the book. Now we have been learning that there is new starting points where you close one book and start a new book.
Right, and it's like a volume, I guess.
So it's been cool to get to see which characters move forward with you into the new book and which ones are gone, and that's how it's done, man.
Yeah. If you really want to look at it that way, also, it's like we've started a new book because we've started a new world.
Absolutely, we have.
And I just had that epiphany sitting here.
Yeah, right. And we know that we've been up in these new world vibes for a good solid month now, but we've had some shit to go through in this new world, but we're ironing out the last little bit, and that's what you did in ending the marriage. And now on to bigger and better things.
Yes.
Because neither one of you guys are being held back anymore.
No.
And you get to step out of your own way fully, and now we are in uncharted territories. All of us in our little friend group, our circle, our troll,
guys,
not just friend group, but our soul tribe, things are moving out of the way for people.
Yeah.
And that entails the start of their new book.
Yeah.
They ended one book of their life, and they're moving on to the next one, as am I, which is beautiful. And what it is we stepped fully into our powers. And how did we do that? We learned to truly love and trust ourselves enough.
Yeah.
And how did we do that? By healing, by facing them ugly parts of ourselves that we didn't like.
Absolutely.
And trust me when I tell you, anybody out here listening can do the same for themselves, and it's beautiful. And when we fully, truly step out of our own damn way, then that's when things start happening. People have such a hard time receiving. They don't feel like they fully deserve it.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. When you get self-love, you don't have to worry about that, right? So you overcome a lot of these obstacles that stood in your way when you did feel self-conscious about yourself. But to me and you, we are at a point in our lives where we can say, fuck what anybody thinks.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to do me, and you're going to do you.
Yeah.
And guess what? Nobody else matters what their opinion is of you. It doesn't matter what they think of you. That is on them, and that's a reflection of their karma.
It's the most ridiculous thing that I've ever had to reflect on my life about, and said, why the fuck did you hold yourself back so much? Because you was so worried about what other people thought. And then, why did you hold yourself back? when you are a one badass motherfucking person, you know, you
Absolutely.
are a badass, and you see this stuff, and you can't get lost in the past. You can revisit it and see your mistakes and what you learned from it and your lessons, but you don't stay in it. You know, the past is the past,
The
and
past is
moving
the past
forward,
is the past.
you know,
And
we're
the
always
future is
changing
the future.
versions of
It's the
ourselves.
future. Don't worry about the future either. Worry about what is going on with you in the current now.
Yeah.
And that's how you focus on healing.
Yeah.
You box off the past and the future because you heal both of them, really.
You do.
Because if you're living in the now, you don't even really care what's coming.
Yeah.
But you know that you're able and ready to face anything.
Yes. And
So that is when you fully step into your power. So you don't worry about the future things, and you don't worry about past things that you lived through, and you can take from the lessons that you learned from that.
Yep.
You know, but don't let it eat you alive, and that's when you know that you're truly healed. When you can bring up any memory in your life and not feel guilty, not
Yeah.
feel ashamed, not feel sad.
Yeah.
You know, you master yourself. It's
Yes,
a mastery
it
of
is
self.
a master of emotions. It's a master of the body. It's a master of the mind and everything. It's just, you know, again, you know, if you're here on this journey with us and you're listening now, I want you to know that we all have this power. No matter where you're coming from on your path, it's just turning inwards. And it's true. You hear this from gurus and all these master healers and everything. And, you know, it's all the same messages, and it's filtered down through. And which, by the way, our life has been one big synchronicity for a while now. Listen, guys, I'm just going to be really honest with you and lay it out out there, because I'm not ashamed of my life. I've never been. I felt like I've needed to tell a story, but I'm just going to say I've been in a marriage for the last 20 years that has been very emotionally abusive and just not good for me. And I've been through a lot, and finally, for the first time after 20 years, I signed the separation papers. He's good, I'm good, I wish him well in healing. We are actually getting along very well. For the boys, for my grandbaby, whatever it is, just what I wanted. I wanted my peace, but I was scared. I'm healing generational trauma
Absolutely.
through everybody,
Yeah.
because there is deep generational trauma in my family, and I'm very, very aware of it because
Yeah.
I'm healing it.
Well, listen, you guys, she has been a rock star through all of it, and any of us has the capability to handle life and whatever comes our way,
Yeah.
you know, with deduction of reasoning from everything that we've learned and integrating everything that we've learned spiritually.
Yeah.
Just putting in the work, man. I mean, I'm telling you, you can change your life. We have such amazing things happening right now.
Absolutely.
And I just want to point out too, if we sound passionate we are passionate, as you guys know, we are passionate
Yeah.
people. We are not hateful in any way,
No.
shape, or form. We are passionate about our past experiences and what we've been through. So
Yep.
I've been looking at things lately, and I realize maybe I sound brash when it comes to certain topics. And maybe I need to work on that, and that's things that you can focus on, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I am trying to not get so passionate about Christianity when I talk about it because of the previous.
It's deep-rooted trauma is
deep-rooted
what it is
trauma,
attached
exactly.
to Christianity.
Right, so we are healing that, but guess what? We have healed most of that.
Yeah.
And it's just because we're passionate about it, you know.
There's you can tell when someone's got a bad taste in their mouth for it, and obviously for good reason you would.
Yeah.
Absolutely you would, because I wasn't raised that deep into
Yeah.
the religion.
Right.
I mean, I went to church every Sunday with my mom and papa, but
Right.
your situation was different
Yeah.
than mine. But you know, you're healing it, and it takes time to heal it. It took me a long time to be able to say the word God
Yeah.
without it being associated with Christianity. It
Yeah.
killed my soul.
I know.
It killed my soul because you know why? Because it's nothing about any of that. It's the people who have, you know, made that a bad thing. Yeah.
Tainted
So
it.
here we go on our rant.
Yeah.
Maybe I
See,
need to work
it is
on it
tainted.
too.
Listen,
but
I know, right?
it ain't worth
Exactly.
it. That's not.
Listen, when
That is
when
old
somebody-
world vibes.
Yeah, when somebody points something out to me, I'm not going to be closed-minded about it. So if I think about what they tell me, and I think, you know what, maybe they're probably right. Maybe I do sound brash about it. Maybe I should work on myself.
Yeah.
That's the mindset that I've been thriving in the past 2 years at the least. I actually, the past 5 years really, But I want to become the best and most evolved version of myself. And
Absolutely,
if that
yeah.
includes working on that shit that I didn't want to, and facing things that I didn't want to face, and walking through the fucking pits of hell, then absolutely, you know, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
I think
That's
when
all
you
I
had
can
that
say.
have that epiphany of, oh, I know what I have to do, and it's the hardest thing that you'll ever have to do.
It feels like you'll never live again.
Ooh, God,
And
it's
it's the
scary.
worst and
It's
the
so
most
scary.
terrible thing that you could be coming out of your mouth, but once you do it, God, the
Yeah.
freedom is fucking
You're right.
phenomenal.
I am me.
We were talking about like how if people try to hold something over your head,
Yeah.
we're the type of people that will expose that shit. So if you live your life authentically, guess
It's
what?
there.
It's there.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna question it because you live your life authentically.
Yeah.
And there ain't one person on this planet that I give any bit of power over me in
No.
that aspect.
I am
If you
me.
try to hold
Yeah.
something over my head to try to force my hand, no, we're going to go ahead and we're going to expose it to everybody, and then I take back my power.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of living authentically.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing for a while. So you guys have been on this journey with us. So I feel like you are all like right here struggling and
Well, they've been
celebrating
right there with the
us,
growth.
you know?
The stories.
Yeah, you've seen
like,
it. You've seen it, and it's been a beautiful process. And we get the beautiful thing is this is what we created Contact Buzz for.
Absolutely.
And we get to look back. And I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I was looking back at old episodes and kind of listening in just to see as a progress report. I felt like I felt like a little kindergartner back there at the first one.
Oh, God.
And then you get to see the process, and it's beautiful because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to document our
to let it
spiritual
flow.
path.
To let it flow.
And let it flow when it's supposed to, and to get to talk about the beautiful
Smoke
experiences
a
that we've
joint and then
had.
sit here and talk
We've
to
had
y'all,
some
man.
crazy good
Stuff.
meditation
Like,
stuff
oh my
too.
God.
We've been upgraded and downloaded so many times, and I
Yeah.
feel like when I go into meditation, I feel like I'm like grand.
It's very high
everything. It's
vibrational.
very.
So what we're seeing around us right now, guys, if you are with us, you know there is so many freaking awesome things happening around you right now. And you see the world's changing around you because we slipped into it's like that higher vibrational state, and it's
Yeah.
like solid now. Nobody's bringing me down.
No.
I mean,
Ain't
that's
nobody
where I'm
gonna
at in my
break
life.
My stride.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you're up here with me and you're down there, I'm sorry. You have to, you have to do that on your own.
Yeah.
So that was a good lesson for me in my marriage for the last
Right.
20 years and our separations and
Well,
relationships
for
in
lack
between.
of effort.
Yeah. Absolutely. But when you know something's not on your vibrational level anymore,
Yeah.
don't meet them.
No, because it's just going to be torture for
Yeah.
both people.
Oh God, I'm telling you.
For both people until it's over. So you
Yeah.
just have to come to that mutual respect.
Yeah.
Give each other the reprieve that you need.
Don't.
Put each other out of your miseries, man.
Yeah.
Because if two people are not meant for each other, there's no amount of teaching and healing in the world that can save it. It's just
Trust
not
me, we
meant to
know.
be. You know?
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, that's toxic relationships. I think if you have anything toxic in your life right now, you need to evaluate what that is.
Absolutely.
If it's bad for you, let it go. I know it's scary. It's going to be scary, but if you want growth, you're going to get scared. And that's going to be fear, and that's working through fear. Trust me. I know.
It's some of the scariest stuff that we've been through lately, you know?
Yeah.
Real hard
Real
life
hard,
lessons.
Very hard.
And I think we all get, most of us save the hardest ones for last that are self-taught, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes spirit moves at a shout, and then you just have to deal with the aftermath.
Yeah.
So you get dealt the cards you have to play, you know? And that's where you can really judge your growth in spirituality.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
when something happens where somebody very close to you passes away. How do you handle that?
Yeah.
I want to work on my responses to life, right?
Yep.
Like to anything in general. I want to be able to master my response without tainting it with what emotions would have me say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm currently working on, is trying to, well, not trying to, but I am catching myself in the very moments that I'm either saying or thinking a shitty thought, and I'm like,
Yes.
stop that. There's no time for any kind of negativity. Does this benefit anything that's going to be said to another person? Does it add to the conversation? Is it just idle, stupid shit? I want to.
Is it a negative, lower
Is it a
vibrational?
negative, lower vibrational? Is it
Yeah.
going to affect my peace?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to analyze every situation that way that is presented to me, and that is a true mastery of self right there.
It sure is.
So, but when you get through all the little bullshit stuff that's holding you back, then you can work on the big gun stuff. You know?
Oh, by the way, also, we just come back from a weekend trip from somebody's birthday celebration.
Yeah. Oh, guess what, guys?
ah,
I have stepped fully and 100% into my middle age. I am 40 years
It's
old
a dirty
now.
40.
Listen, I am a daddy, is what I think they call it. I think it's I'm a daddy, so I don't know how I achieved daddy status, but guess what? I am.
Here you are, killing it.
But I feel the best I ever have in my life,
Same.
and it's because I made myself a promise that I was going to be fit before 40. And guess what? I'm not like super like where I want to be, but I am almost fit, guys, and that was the promise that I intended to keep myself,
Yeah.
and it worked.
Yes.
And I didn't even gain any weight through Christmas.
I
So
love it.
it's on the downhill slide with the health. I'm doing great, and I'm going to continue that. And we're actually getting ready to start the gym tomorrow.
We
so.
are.
Count world.
Heck yeah.
But no, for real. Anyway, without the gym, look out.
So, yeah, so new on my front, not only did I just get separated, but I also have found my soul partner.
Ooh, girl.
And yes, it sounds crazy, and
I think it sounds beautiful, actually.
it is beautiful because
I get to see I got to see the whole process play out too.
So tell them, okay, so
We probably talked about going to karaoke. I'm
we
sure
probably did it talking
We
to
like
the wizard.
We like to announce when we're going to karaoke.
We do.
Big deal. But anyway, so yeah, we went out for Holly's birthday, which is what, your 38th birthday? I
Yeah.
think.
Yes.
She's 2 years younger, and I'm the old whippersnapper here. But so we went out onto the deck of the porch, and we were introduced to this character. He come up to us, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the wizard." They call me the wizard, and he did this little curtsy bow type thing and waved his hands, and I thought, what an interesting character.
I was like, well, that's
So
pretty sweet.
that evening was off the charts. We got the energy rocking out
Oh,
there on
yeah.
that back porch. So we all had good conversations. Keith, the wizard, was talking my ear off, telling me about we were talking about the concept of deities being just energies that
Yes.
people conjure,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, he ended up telling me about this saint that he created. And it was a pretty creative idea, I thought. And I thought, you know what? This is exactly how it works. This is,
Yeah.
some people might think that sounds absolutely crazy, but
No,
I kind
I
of was like,
wouldn't.
okay. So he, I ain't going to get into the details of the saint, but
I didn't get to know him that night very
yeah,
well.
so he was, me and him had
Yes.
that moment, we were
Yes.
talking and talking.
Yeah, I love that.
Busy night. There was a lot of people and a lot of conversations that night. But so anyway, we didn't think nothing else of it. But in my mind, I was like, "This cat, man, he's such strange." I don't know if I
We
found
talked
him or
about
he
him all
found
the
me.
time sitting here in the section.
I think
you
he found
actually
us
would bring
on-
them up.
Yeah, he found us
Yeah.
on Facebook, and then I would talk about that wizard story and all
Yeah.
that. And we decided to go back to Summit City
Yeah.
and do karaoke. And we ran into Keith again. This time,
The wizard.
the wizard again. Sorry. And then we talked more and more, and then that's when Holly and Keith started. I could see a little glint in her eye when she was talking to him, and I thought he's a pretty interesting character.
So
I was like, and then Holly had reservations, of course, because
Oh,
she
God,
had
yeah.
this big life-changing thing that she has
I
to
wasn't
get ready
worried
to go
about
through,
looking
right?
for anybody. I
So,
didn't.
I mean, she's past it now, which sounds amazing to talk about.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, but it was such dread and such stress and such worry
Yeah.
and such sadness.
Yeah.
All of that stuff leading up to this.
Yeah.
So no wonder you had your reservations.
Yeah.
And you know,
It's a bar.
I just kept reminding her. I was like, "Let's see what happens." Let's just
Yeah, he did.
see what happens. And anyway, yeah, so it's developed from there, and he ended up going on a weekend away with us to our very special magical mansion on the hill,
House of Athena.
And then, after that, I decided, for my 40th birthday, that I wanted to go back to Summit City, which they were having an open mic night that night. But we went back, and it was a very magical night. Chilled out. It was cold as F out there on the back porch, but we still chilled out. After a couple drinks, it was like I warmed up or whatever. It was fun. So each time we visit that bar, we pick up somebody that we need to help. So it's like one of them weird things, like we know that we're called to go to the bar because we're going to have to help somebody. So we get these really cool characters that come out, and at the bar you got that energy of angst and excitement and all. People go to the bar for a specific reason. They're celebrating, they're very sad, whatever. Their life is in disarray most of the time, which no judgment, but it's just a bunch of misfits, and they feel comfortable because they feel our energy. They feel comfortable and drawn to us that we get to talk to them about some of the things we do. Very close-minded little town, so hopefully we're planting some seeds there. Because I've noticed when we're out there on that back porch, people in the corners are listening, because we're not quiet when we talk. We're talking just like we're talking right here out on the back porch of the Summit. So people are hearing this stuff, and they're intrigued by it. It's really cool.
So what's really cool about this, guys, is back in the day, this is the same bar I went to go karaoke and everything by myself. And I would end up on the back of the porch there talking spiritual every time. Then we meet Keith, aka the Wizard, and like he's a spiritual guy underneath the Wizard, and I was like, I see you, because the first for the first time I was like, oh no.
Oh, he does this. He does a very well. I ain't gonna expose his secrets.
Yeah. So funny. But yeah, that was one of the first synchronicities, and then it was you remind me of my grandmother, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. You remind me of my grandmother, and I was like, oh, thank you, Keith.
That's great. What a compliment, right?
No, but now it's like a big synchronicity in our relationship.
It was fun. It's been fun. It's been fun to watch.
It's very magical.
Because this has been a long time coming, There's been a lot of hard stuff that we've been through lately.
Hell yeah.
So it's nice to see all that rolling in. And if you step out of your way and move things that you know need to be moved, then it might be hard for a minute, but when you heal that shit, and the more you go through shit, the quicker you heal, because you know how to do that shit. You know that it's like a Band-Aid. You just got to rip that shit off and go.
Exactly. So out of all this, like, my boys are cool. They're getting ready to meet Keith tomorrow. We have so many synchronicities. I mean, we were standing at the House of Athena, and an eagle soared by the first weekend we were together. We had so many synchronicities.
It's really cool. There's been every time we go up there at that mansion on the hill, we have magical moments always.
We really do.
Such a beautiful time. I never thought that I'd ever get to live such a wonderful and blessed life like that.
Yeah. Not only that is our Carmen, our little mamacita. She got to join us too this weekend, and like it was beautiful moments because she came to the mountains to heal. And she got what she needed, and there was so many beautiful moments. I swear, our life is magic.
I love them. I love our people. I love all of our soul tribe.
Yes.
Carmen holds a very special place in my heart. She's our little Puerto Rican mommy, she is a fucking warrior.
She is a warrior. Guys, what's amazing is when you can call somebody a friend and say, who truly understands, because not everybody understands this path. And as soon as she called me up, I was like, you get your ass to my house. And she rolled up, and here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And we wouldn't have it any other way.
That's what we
we do as shaman. As good, genuine, not even shaman, but good, genuine people, that's what you do for each other.
Yeah.
But, along that path, it requires some healing. Yeah. And what better way than to come to the mountains with a shaman?
My house is always an open door. Now, it's not the fanciest thing ever. I don't have money, but we'll make it work.
There's much love in this home. There's much healing.
What's the sanctuary? It's the place of healing.
Sanctuary vibes are off the charts.
Yeah.
Along with our Barker beauties.
Exactly. AKA weed. We are legal in Virginia, okay? So don't be
We hate.
don't be hating. No, but seriously, out of this too is I have mother trauma, and me and my mom are very aware of this. But one of the things about me being separated is she's like totally went off the deep end, and then especially me being in a relationship. But
I feel sorry for people like that because they've done so many horrible things over the years that they just have such a hard time.
I think as a child, I always I never
accepting
knew.
that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No.
I think as a child, I never it was normal to me until you get spiritual and realize that you start dealing with your traumas.
Yeah, and then
And your shadows, and and you start working through those, and you realize that you were a very much so disconnected from your mother, very close to my father. But as I've gotten older and more spiritual, and very open to talk to my mother and father about traumas and stuff, even if they can't understand it, I'm still going to speak it. But it's the connection between me and my mother because of her trauma with her mother, and it is very deep with them. So of course it went right to us. And I always said I was glad I had boys, but still it doesn't matter what gender you are, that trauma will still pass down through you. That's what nobody tells people. But my mother, the mother relationship there, I've healed on myself,
right.
and how I feel about it because I understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
But it's hard for them to process. And and everybody's happy. That's what I don't understand. Like everybody around us, everybody's good.
Yeah, it's purgatory.
Yeah.
Listen, we can't save nobody from their own karma, man.
No, you can't.
And that's what that is. And that's people get so bitter that they can't handle it, and that's their karma.
I told her I wished her healing. She told me that I needed help. So, y'all, if you struggle with this path and being truly yourself, you can ask me questions because I sure know.
Yeah, the best thing, though, too, is if you do struggle, but stand up for yourself.
Yep.
Be authentically who you are. Don't be afraid to cut that person out of your life if they're being a shit person.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Stay strong through that. And that's what's going to get you up to this next level here.
Yeah. So, and see, that's the scary part for people. Like, what are they going to do? Take your birthday away from you?
Exactly.
That's where I got to in my life because I had been made to feel sorry for people and used emotionally. You know, it's just.
Yep.
That's what you have to heal about that. People think traumas are something that's physical or just no, honey, we're talking about wounds that come from your daddy and your mommy.
Emotional, and they might not have even been aware that they were doing it.
They never are.
Yeah.
Certain things, yes. But
right. Now, there is a level of abuse that's definitely a line crossed for sure.
But, the rest of that's ignorance.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's because they've been taught that by their generation or the one before them. Yeah. So this is where we as people can end generational trauma.
Exactly.
Imagine that.
And I even just ended this up a little bit because I did want to. I'm telling you, I'm going to be really raw about my life and what I've been through. So buckle up because this is a healing process.
Absolutely.
And it's weird to say that I had been in it for so long during my spiritual path that I healed it along the way. So it's like I'm happy. I'm not only happy, I'm like healed in that. So, in a way, just looking back at it, I healed while I was in it and then ended it, and I don't have to take it with me.
Yep.
And that's the beautiful part about it.
Absolutely it is. And that's the beautiful part about working on yourself. You can get to that level.
Oh, God,
You heal things immediately because we know what creates wounds, and we deal with that now.
Yeah.
We've always been very much so self-soothing people, and we've always healed ourselves. We've always been ostracized, so to speak. and
Yeah.
Not had anybody to talk to that really related with us.
Yep.
And it's because they didn't understand. They couldn't meet us on our level.
Yep.
And we wasn't never going to drop down to meet them on their level. And that's why some people are not meant to be in your life.
Yeah, if you have someone who is bringing up an emotion with you right now in this moment, what can you do about it? Who is it? Why? Or why is it happening to you?
Yeah.
Why are you allowing it?
Exactly.
So we are seeing beautiful moments with some beautiful soul family, and even, my partner, I'm seeing him like very much
He's
so.
growing leaps and bounds
Leaps
daily
and bounds.
because he's standing up out of his way and he's learning,
Yeah.
and he's teaching.
He
in
is
the process.
teaching. He's a very intelligent man,
Yeah.
and that is like a very much so turn on for me. But not just turn on as sexually, but soulfully,
Spiritually, yeah.
Spiritually, I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's crazy, but y'all are going to be hearing a lot about him and from him and seeing him with us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a permanent fixture, it would seem.
Yep.
But we really appreciate you guys listening. We love to talk. We would talk all day if we could, but we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.